Hello, friends, and welcome back to Scaling Stories. Today, I've got some more highly upvoted posts from Best of Redditor updates for you all. Like always, I'll be reading you the posts and giving you my opinions, and I'll also be working on building up my Minecraft world at the same time, so I hope you enjoy. Also, I'm currently only in Spotify's creator program, so watching on there would help me out a ton. Thank you so much for your support. Today's first story comes from the Relationship Advice subreddit. It was posted by ThrowRA1390 on May 12, 2021, and was titled, My 26 male, girlfriend, 25 female, doesn't like that my little brother, 15 male, is staying with me. Alright, so just like the title says, my girlfriend doesn't like the fact that my brother is staying with us. He was an affair baby since my mom cheated on my dad with another man. Whoever the other guy was wanted nothing to do with her or him when she got pregnant and left. For whatever reason, they decide to stay together, and it's always felt like they've been punishing him for something that was never his fault. My mom chose to cheat on my dad, and the two of them chose to keep him and to stay together. Yet still, he was never treated the same, especially by my dad. He's never seen him as his son, and it's pretty evident that he's loved him a lot less than me. I've always tried to make him not feel unwanted, so we grew up close. To me, he was just my little brother, not my half-brother. I moved out when I was 18. Things seemed fine with him at first, but they got gradually worse, even more so when he came out to them a few months ago. He opened up to me about everything recently. I told him what my parents didn't, that he is loved and accepted, and he can talk to me about anything he wants. Our parents are evidently not fit to be his parents, so I told him to pack his things and come stay with me. I have a spare room anyway, so it might as well be his. I'm pretty much the only one who has been looking out for him for the longest time. Mom and Dad were a little upset about this, but they're hoping I'll set him straight. Not sure if that's supposed to have a double meaning. Overall, it's actually been nice having him around. I can tease him about boys in his class. I get to keep up with how he's doing, and I don't have to worry about him all the time. I know it's not my job, but he's my brother, and I love him. The problem comes in with my girlfriend. She suddenly has a problem with my brother staying at my place because it's invading her privacy somehow. We don't live together officially, but she has been around my place a lot and does stay over often. She'll get upset if he watches a movie with us, if he eats dinner with us, or over the fact that he's up super early for school, and I just don't think she should be upset about all this. He can't just actively avoid her if he's essentially living with me for the time being. There wasn't much time to really run it by her or talk to her about it since it just wasn't a healthy environment for him. I've been looking into getting him emancipated or becoming his legal guardian. My girlfriend doesn't seem to understand why I'm trying to help him when we're not even real brothers, according to her, and he's not my responsibility. She wants me to send him back home and is basically making that the condition of our relationship. I know that I'm going to choose my little brother, but I don't know how to let her off easy or if I should even do that. Scaling Stories Corner. So first off, the parents were for sure intending on OP to somehow make his little brother not gay when they told him they hoped he would set him straight. And I won't really say much about them except they're pretty much just trash parents. Not because they think OP can magically turn his brother not gay, but because his mom cheated on his dad and his dad chose to stay with his mom. So they both made those decisions themselves, but they choose to punish a child who did nothing wrong by not loving him and then later not accepting him. So yeah, basically just trash parents. Now for OP's girlfriend, I can understand being upset that you're losing privacy because OP suddenly had to take in his little brother, but that's the only thing I'll understand and tolerate. There's absolutely no reason why she should be telling OP things like, oh, he's not even your real brother. Like, no, you're not his real girlfriend if he's dumping you. So what's your point? No, I didn't mean like that. I mean, OP's little brother is still his real brother no matter what, half-sibling or not. I mean, half-sibling doesn't even matter. If he wasn't related to OP, he grew up with OP in the same household and was raised as his brother, so he is his brother. People get their pants twisted because of technicalities and stuff like that when it doesn't even matter because family is family. But yeah, OP is absolutely in the right for dumping his heartless girlfriend. Because also think about it this way, if your significant other could so easily discard his vulnerable sibling and send him back to an environment that's not safe for him, is this really a green flag for you? Like this says, yeah, this is the partner I want for my future, he's the one. Like, no, to me, that's a red flag in his character trait that would make me question if he's actually the one. Now, here are some of the top/relevant comments from the original post. Commenter 1 says, "Tell her he is your real brother, and that is that. He is your family, and if she wants to be a part of you, then that is how it is. If not, she can leave and never look back." Commenter 2 says, "I was waiting for the part where you tell us she pays half the rent and your brother is mean to her, or eats up all the Oreos, or is a slob, or keeps her up all night. It never came. Tell her that you realize she's an ugly person, and you will not subject your real brother to her any longer, nor are you interested in dating someone with an ugly personality. And give her best wishes. Best of luck, OP, and thank you for being such a great big brother." OP says, "Honestly, he's neater than me. I don't know any other teenagers who willingly do the dishes." Commenter 3 says, "You are an amazing brother, but I just want to ask, do you have intimacy and time alone with your girlfriend? People who are helping one person are sometimes sucked up by just one priority, and they forget about other people whom they love. I'm just trying to figure out why she is annoyed. She shouldn't be so entitled to this, but she may have a problem because your life choices will be on hold for another 3 to 4 years. Mostly, women want to start their own family before 30, get married before having kids, etc. Talk with her about the roots of her dislike of the situation." OP says, "We do get time alone. Things have been pretty much the same between us, other than the fact that the spare room isn't empty anymore, and my brother occasionally watches something with us or eats meals together when she's around." OP says to another commenter, "We've had dates in other places, and even if we are home, he'll leave if he can." Update 8 days later. Just want to come on here and give an update on the situation. I did end up talking to her. She was aware of the situation beforehand, but still wasn't sympathetic to his situation. I would have understood what she was saying if my brother was imposing all the time and acting like a third wheel, but it was only sometimes. It wasn't going to work between us if she was just going to make him feel as crappy as our parents did, so we did end up ending things. It was definitely for the best, but I kind of wish she had at least tried to understand the situation instead of making it all about her. In other news, my brother seems to be doing a lot better. I'm pretty sure he picked up on her disdain for him being around, but he knows our breakup wasn't because of him. We haven't really heard anything from our parents, and I'm fine with him staying as long as he needs to. He's had a few friends over, and I'm almost certain that one of them is his boyfriend. We'll be teasing him about this, so I'd say he's doing well for himself. Thanks to everyone who responded to the last post. ScalingStories Corner. So pretty short and simple, and that's good riddance to that girlfriend. She was kind of a red flag, and although OP said his brother wasn't the reason for their breakup, he low-key kinda was, and I think it's fine to say that he was. Life just happens to people sometimes, and people get put into circumstances that they have to deal with, and in this case, OP needed to take in and protect his little brother. His girlfriend showed how heartless she was throughout this process, and that's not something OP wanted for his future. You could even consider it lucky that OP's brother being there helped show the girlfriend's true colors sooner, or else she might have hidden and acted like a nice and caring person to OP for much longer. Now here are some of the top/relevant comments from the update post. Commenter 1 says, "You're a great guy." Commenter 2 says, "Yeah, F that. You're the best older brother anyone could have asked for, I'm sure. Keep being an amazing person." Okay, friends, so that concludes our first story of the day. Next up, we have a story from the Am I the Jerk subreddit. It was posted by burner account 113025 on November 30th, 2025, and was titled, "Am I the jerk for wanting my brother to apologize for destroying a piece of sports memorabilia? My brother says it was just a piece of paperwork, but it belongs to my husband. Tell me if I, 28 female, am being the jerk here because I'm going out of my mind. My husband, 28 male, and I just bought a house, and we hosted my family for Thanksgiving. For context, I'm originally from Illinois, but my husband and I live in Iowa. My family came on Wednesday and left on Friday, so no one was driving for over 4 hours on Thanksgiving Day. My older brother volunteered to take the couch in our basement because we only have 2 guest rooms. He was the only one who was down there. No one else went to the basement. My husband is casually into sports, but he did get some sports memorabilia from his dad and his oppa. He has a certificate of ownership for an NFL team. His dad bought shares in the team, and if you do that, you get a certificate in exchange. When my husband went downstairs to put some food in the freezer on Friday night, the certificate was missing. The frame was still there, but the certificate wasn't. I asked my brother about it because he was the only one who was down there, and he said he didn't do anything with the certificate, and it is worthless anyway. My husband can ask the team to mail another certificate. The certificate isn't sentimental or priceless or anything like that, but it was bothering us because my brother obviously took it. No one else was in our basement except for him. I couldn't understand why he would take it, and my husband is pissed about it. I told my brother to just send it back, and up until yesterday, he said he didn't do anything. But now he admits he took it, and he said he can't give it back because he destroyed it. He told me it's worthless anyway. My husband is obviously mad at my brother. I don't even watch sports, and my husband barely watches. He would never destroy something from another team, though. He doesn't even talk about football or any sports with my family. I don't know why my brother would do that. My parents and my other brother told me to tell my husband to let it go because the certificate can be replaced. My dad said people put too much stock into having the certificate, but that's not the point. Am I the jerk for telling my brother he should apologize to my husband? I couldn't believe my dad tried to act like this wasn't a big deal. I am so embarrassed. I apologized to my husband because I'm embarrassed, but he told me it's not my fault. Am I being the jerk for being so upset with my brother about a piece of paperwork and telling him to apologize? My family says I'm making a mountain out of a molehill, and I would like a gut check. Be truthful. I will admit if I'm wrong. ScalingStories Corner. Nah, that brother is a piece of crap. And if that were me, that would be the last time he would be invited to my house. Because first off, who decides on if something is not sentimental or priceless? The brother has absolutely no idea what that certificate meant to OP's husband. What if it had a backstory, like it was his father's favorite sports team and he gave it to OP's husband before he died? Like, how does the brother know it's supposedly worthless when he decided to destroy it? And even before destroying it, what gives him the right to even take it from OP's home in the first place? That thing was literally framed. Things that are framed are usually important in some way, no? Like, you want to protect it and showcase it because you put it in a frame? So why did he think it was acceptable to take it out of its frame and not tell anyone? And he also lied about it, so yeah, he's trash and he's definitely never getting invited back to the house. And if the rest of the family wants to take his side, that's fine. Like, it's okay, but like, I'm not gonna let someone treat me with so much disrespect. And I'm not saying to cut contact with them or not allow them to visit, but I'm still disallowing the brother to visit for family gatherings. And if they don't come because the brother isn't allowed to come, then that's on them. Now, here are some of the top/relevant comments from the original post. Commenter 1 says, "This makes no real sense. Nobody can explain why your brother took the time to take the certificate out of the frame and destroy it, but they'd like him to be forgiven for doing so? That's not how things work. Your brother owes your husband an apology and a new certificate, and he owes you an apology as well. Your dad is an idiot, your brothers are idiots, and your mother is an idiot. If this is normal behavior for them, I'm not sure why you'd even want to be around them. Chances are pretty good that your brother sold it or gave it to a friend who likes the team, by the way, not the jerk." Commenter 2 says, "It's theft and he admitted it. That he destroyed something he claims had no value, in some ways, makes it worse. He seriously effed up. Are you sure it has no value? Or does it have value and your brother is snowing you? I wouldn't want to be in the same room as him again." OP says, "I don't know anything about sports memorabilia like the certificate. My husband does, and he said no one who knows about football would pay money for it. So I'm just going off what my husband says. He doesn't want to go to the police whenever I've told him he should. He says no one in their right mind would call the cops for this. We did tell my brother/my family they aren't welcome here again because of this." Edit. No idea why I'm getting Reddit care messages sent to me for this comment, but I don't need mental health support for this. Commenter 3 says, "If you don't file a police report today for theft, you're doing your husband a disservice. Your brother needs to be held accountable. Don't ask Reddit, go to the police." OP says, "My husband doesn't want to report it. I've told him I'll go with him, but he said it's not worth it. I'll keep trying to get him to go. He says he's mad at my family, but no one in their right mind would call the cops about this." Editor's note, the certificate is for the Green Bay Packers. It's a novelty item for fans of the team. Update 7 months later. My update isn't very exciting, I'm afraid, but I had received a few requests for an update once the situation was resolved, so I wanted to post one last time. Some things I wanted to clarify. My father-in-law got the certificate in 2022. He gave it to my husband to display in our basement after he, my father-in-law, downsized and no longer had room for it. It has fun value for fans of the team, but it is not worth any money. My husband said my brother would be well aware that the certificate had no resale/monetary value. My husband told me the certificate can't be sold. It can be transferred to someone else if the person who originally bought it dies, but you aren't allowed to sell it to someone else even if it was worth money. My family is from Illinois, and I was born there and grew up there. I moved to Iowa for a job after I graduated from college. My husband's family is from Iowa. None of them have ever lived in Wisconsin. My husband's dad was able to get a replacement certificate. Apparently, there is an entire department that manages those certificates, and his dad was able to contact the team and get one. No problem. I was still angry and kept confronting my brother about what happened. I kept asking him why he would destroy something that belonged to my husband like that. He wouldn't say anything at first besides that it is a worthless piece of paperwork. My dad and others in my family defended my brother, saying people put too much stock into having the certificate. That's not the point. It didn't belong to my brother, and he was a guest. My brother finally said the certificate was stupid, and he was mad at my husband for having it and just snapped. But he wouldn't apologize or admit he was wrong. I'm embarrassed, even though my husband said it isn't my fault. I don't watch football, so I don't understand why my family is acting this way. My husband only casually watches, and I can tell he is hurt and angry about what happened. I've been pretty low contact with my family since it happened. I haven't spent any holidays with them since it happened, and on the rare times we talk, it is surface level stuff or small talk. That's my update. Also, I apologize if you sent me a message and I didn't reply. I had to turn off my messages because I was inundated with messages from fans of the same football team as my brother, full of insults and worse towards myself and my husband. Scaling Stories Corner. Okay, I take that back. After hearing that the family are actually like die-hard defending the brother's actions, after he stole and destroyed something from OP's household, I would definitely be banning all of them from ever visiting, because people who don't respect my house aren't allowed to step foot in it. And also, that's just like disgusting favoritism in that family. Like, how are none of them telling the stupid brother to not touch things that aren't his and that stealing is wrong in the first place? They have to seriously favor him to such a great degree to be telling OP that she's the one in the wrong for feeling slighted over this, or they have to hate OP's husband or something. No matter what, OP is better off interacting with them less like she currently is, because they clearly don't respect her or her husband. And you don't need to force yourself to be around people like that just because they're family. Sometimes family just sucks. Now here are some of the top/relevant comments from the update post. Commenter 1 says, "Your family has shown you that you cannot trust them in your house and that they will treat your marital property as trash and gaslight you into submission. Newsflash, they're the ones who are putting too much stock into having their certificate. They literally went out of their way to destroy it and continue to walk all over your family, you and your husband. What's next? Destroying your wedding certificate? After all, it's just a paper certificate." Commenter 2 says, "I can see why your brother is such a jerk. It's because your family enables him and expects everyone else to tolerate his bad behavior." Commenter 3 says, "I'm also not into sports, but I grew up in Chicago, and it's obvious this was a certificate of stock for the Green Bay Packers, and your brother destroyed it because he's a man-child with no emotional regulation. I would tell your brother he is never welcome to stay at your house again. He can get a hotel, sleep in his car, or sleep on the side of the road for all I care. I'm glad it was just a piece of paper that was easily replaced. But the fact that he was your guest and destroyed something because of a petty rivalry between the Bears and the Packers is incredibly stupid. The lying, when it was obviously him, was also really stupid and pointless. And disrespectful. Your husband and his father are showing more grace than most would about this. If this were me, every Christmas/birthday present from now on would be Packers themed. Hats, jersey, tickets, etc." Okay, friends, so that concludes our second story of the day. Next up, we have a story from the Relationship Advice subreddit. It was posted by ThrowRA Panic191 on September 23rd, 2021, and was titled, "Significant Other, 29 female, of almost 2 years is ghosting me, 30 male, out of the blue, a week before we are supposed to start our new lease. I don't understand." We have been a couple for almost 2 years now. 2 years in November. I thought everything was going fine / etc. We signed a lease last month for renting a home, with a move-in date of November. Last weekend, we had planned to go visit her parents a few hours away. On Friday, she called me and sounded pretty upset and said she needed a weekend by herself to think and sort out her feelings. She didn't seem to want to volunteer any information. I said that was fine, and she said she would call me on Sunday or when she sorted out her thoughts / feelings. Saturday evening, I texted her, "Are you feeling better? Do you want to talk? Or do you need anything?" She responded with, "Please just leave me alone now." I was pretty hurt by how blunt the message was and just dropped it. She didn't call me Sunday, so I let her be. Monday evening, I sent her another text asking what was going on and got no response. I called her Tuesday, and my phone calls were immediately going to voicemail. I got extremely concerned, so I drove out to her apartment and noticed her car was missing. So, I decided to send a Facebook message to some of her friends I knew. It was at that point that I realized she was no longer on my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc. I sent a message to a few of her friends whom I knew. One finally got back to me late last night and said, "I need to learn to know when I have been dumped and I need to move on with my life and leave her alone." Today, I received a text message from one of her friends telling me my ex said, she was able to convince the landlord to remove her from the lease, and she paid 6 months of her share of the rent out of her own pocket. Any of my things she had were just left with my parents. Anything I have of hers can be thrown out. That's it. My parents had no idea what was going on. It wasn't my ex. It was someone my parents are not familiar with who came by and gave it to them without explaining anything before leaving. I don't understand. We went out last Wednesday and had a great time. She stayed at my place. I don't understand why she was upset on Friday. Am I missing something? I feel confused and panicked, and I just feel lost. I got no goodbye. I don't understand. Scaling Stories Corner. I'm getting flashbacks to the story yesterday where OP's wife was hanging around her high school ex and he confessed his feelings to her. Except in that story, the wife told the ex to F off. But in this case, I feel like it might be a case where OP's girlfriend got confessed to, and she decided that that was better than what she had built up with OP, which would be extremely messed up if that's the case, because she and OP have been together for 2 years, and if she can so easily throw away OP like this, then it means her heart wasn't really in it for the last 2 years while OP was dedicating himself to her. There's also a chance that she's going through like a manic episode, because prepaying half a year's rent and telling OP to throw away any belongings she has and removing him off all of her socials is like such an extreme cutoff, you know? So either it's she never cared about OP at all and was keeping him around as like a backup option, or she's going through like some kind of psychosis and needs medical attention. Now here are some of the top / relevant comments from the original post. Commenter 1 says, "Confirm this with the landlord ASAP. Make sure your obligations haven't increased for the duration of the lease, and if they have, figure out if you can take her to court for any of the rest of it. Small claims court is cheap enough." OP says to another commenter, "The landlord finally called me back. Apparently, 2 days ago, she showed up and gave him 6 post-dated checks for her portion of the rent. He told her he can't remove her from the lease without my approval. She apparently asked him to tell me to find a roommate and gave him her contact info. If I am unable to find a roommate, then he can contact her and she will pay the remainder. Honestly, I can pay the entire rent myself. I am not worried about that at all. If she is being disresponsible, why can't she tell me what is going on?" Commenter 2 says, "Oh wow, you have no hidden stuff that she may have found out? Cheating, a kid you didn't tell her about, massive debt, or a criminal record?" OP says, "Nope, no skeletons in my closet. Never cheated or anything. The only thing I remember is, about 3 months ago, when we were having sex, I blurted out that I loved her. I really did. She got awkward and told me she wasn't ready for that." Commenter 3 says, "After 2 years, she wasn't ready to hear you say that you love her? Are you sure the two of you were dating?" OP says, "She has been introducing me as her boyfriend for ages now, and we signed a lease for a house together. We have pretty much been spending 5 out of the 7 days of the week together for months now. I know it was weird, but she said she wasn't ready and said she would tell me when she was ready." OP says to another commenter, "I have met her parents a grand total of 2 times so far, and both were very short affairs, e.g. dinner since they live quite far away. but I did write her mother via Facebook and explained how weird it was, as suggested. I will see if I get anything or if she even uses Facebook still. Update 1 week later. I posted this last Thursday. Got a lot of good advice and wanted to thank everyone. The entire situation has pretty much left me pretty goddamn miserable and just frustrated in general. On Sunday, she sent me a very long message via email, pretty much explaining what happened. Pretty much, it boiled down to, well, she wanted to try having a serious relationship with her friend. Her friend is the same person who sent me the extremely blunt message about her dumping me. Apparently, for a year before we started dating, she was having an on-again, off-again relationship with her. I never knew this, and nobody ever mentioned it. Apparently, it wasn't serious, and they broke it off because her friend got cold feet about actual commitment. I never really knew how close my ex and her friend were, but I am probably just dumb. She says she never cheated on me, but apparently, the night after I last saw her, her friend confessed to my ex when she heard about us moving in together. I don't know. According to her, she needed to give this a try because she is apparently in love with her and has been for years. She said she was a coward and really sorry. She also offered to be friends in the future, just not now. I rejected that. Anyways, that aside, and now that we had a bit of communication, we both signed a lease amendment taking her off the lease. She also sent me the money for a chunk of the rent for the year, as she felt she needed to make stuff right somehow. I am still going to move into the house, as I can pay the rent myself even without her help. Honestly, at the end of it all, I guess it was that I was just way more into her than she was into me, and I never really noticed it. Considering how often this friend was around, I probably should have noticed something, I guess. However, I will say that, personally, even before this, I found her friend to be pretty manipulative, and I doubt it is going to work out how she thinks it will. But I am done with her. ScalingStories Corner. Okay, so it wasn't exactly like a high school ex contacted her, but it was just like the other story we read yesterday where a third party just randomly confessed feelings to OP's partner, and I guess in this case, OP's partner completely folded and gave up all the time they spent together. Granted, it wasn't as long as the other OP, but like, damn, 2 years? Really? You can just toss that aside so easily? I think that's hella messed up. Now here are some of the top/relevant comments from the update post. Commenter 1 says, she also offered to be a friend in the future. Lamau? Where's her self-awareness? It's so much better to find out and end the relationship now than later in life. To say it like a jerk, I'm glad your time isn't going to be wasted if she keeps being wishy-washy and is in love with someone else while you're a backup safety option. Commenter 2 says, Lamau. When that relationship crashes and burns, because it will, remember this. There's a good chance she'll come back, saying some bull about how she wants to get back together. Don't fall for it. Commenter 3 says, wow, WTF? She should have been honest with you from the start. Maybe she didn't physically cheat on you, but she emotionally did. I think she did you a favor without even knowing. Good luck with the new house. Make it your safe space. Okay friends, so that concludes today's video. Leave a like and comment down below to let me know what you thought of it, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Take care.